it's already time for the next monthly Q&A. I say this at the start of every one of these videos, but the best way to keep up to date with when the next Q&A is happening is either A, joining the Discord server because I always let you guys know immediately when the next one is about to happen, or just keep your eyes peeled for the posts that I do in the community tab. I usually do it about 3 to 5 days in advance. But anyway, we'll go ahead and answer the questions from the Discord server first. The first question coming from Softcore Alex over in Discord saying, why did you name your channel Grotesque? Well, there's a bit of a backstory to the channel name. I've explained this a couple of times, but I'll just keep it brief. Basically, I used to be an edgy middle schooler. I was making SoundCloud rap music. And at that time, my name was Grotesque. And during that time, I also started experimenting with making YouTube videos. And by the time that I had stopped making my music, my channel already had a decent following. So I was like, well, there's no point in renaming it now because I already have a decent following. And plus at that time I was covering horror games and stuff like that, so the name Grotesque just kind of fit with the theme of horror games and grotesque bosses and stuff like that. The next question coming from Big Daddy Matty 44 saying, what makes you get out of bed every morning? Or I should say asking what makes you get out of bed every morning. My alarm. I set my alarm for 4:15 a.m. and then I wake up and yeah, I'm a very routine-oriented person. I've had the exact same schedule every single day for the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now, ever since I quit my job at Subway. Well, actually, I should correct myself. I did not quit my job at Subway, okay? So I did take some time off, right? To just, I had some health problems I had to take care of. And during that time that I took off, my store got bought out and shut down. So, yeah, I never actually quit my job, but that being said, the way that things lined up, it was actually for the better that things played out the way that they did. But anyways, yeah, since I work literally 7 days a week, 365 days a year, I don't even take holidays off, that being, making these videos, I have the exact same schedule, exact same routine that I follow every day. I treat YouTube like a 9 to 5, because that's what it is for me. It's my 9 to 5. I wake up, go to work, come home, which would be this futon, play video games, go to sleep, repeat. Which that in itself isn't really accurate, because if anybody knows anything about YouTube, it's not just you work and then you're done. It's an around-the-clock job. It's just, you always got to be available for work, you know what I mean? It's a crazy job, but I love what I do. Anyways, the next handful of questions coming from Ryden Rev over in Discord. The first question being, what is your favorite Mario game? That's really hard for me to answer because I love a lot of Mario games. I would say that the one that I return to the most, or the ones that I return to the most, would probably be New Super Mario Bros. DS, the first one, and then Super Mario World. Between those two, I don't know. It's really hard, and that's just when we're talking about 2D Mario games, right? Because that's how I was gonna break it up and say 2D Mario games and then 3D Mario games, and there's the RPG Mario games. So when it comes to 2D Mario games, this might be a hot take, but I find myself going back to New Super Mario Bros. On the DS a lot. I know. Look, the first Mario game that I ever played was Super Mario World on the SNES, and I absolutely love and adore that game, and it's really hard for me to pick a favorite because I love all those Mario games like they're my children, but if I had to pick the one that I just simply return to the most, it's New Super Mario Bros. DS, and that's simply because I leave my DS next to me at all times while I'm working, while I'm doing literally anything else, so it's real easy for me to just grab it, turn it on, run through a couple stages, do a playthrough, whatever. And there's just something about that game, its art style, and it's just, I don't know, there's something about the vibe of the game with the music, I absolutely love it. But again, it's one of those things where it's neck and neck, and the only reason that I say New Super Mario Bros. DS is simply because I tend to play it more than Super Mario World, but it's not even a favoritism type thing, because I love all the 2D Mario games like they're my children. But then furthermore, we have to address the other Mario games, the 3D Mario games. Oh man, when it comes to that, I think I just gotta cop out and say Mario 64. I mean, again, it's one of those things where I love all of them. That's really any Nintendo game for me, though. I can't really pick a favorite. That goes for a lot of different kinds of games in general, too. I'm not the kind of guy where I can just make a top 5 or pick a favorite in a lot of things. There's a few things where I can pick a favorite, my favorite Souls Boss is Soul of Cinder, for example, but, there's very few things where I can just definitively say one thing is my favorite, because I love so many different things for so many different reasons, and that applies really heavily to Nintendo games. So I guess for 3D Mario, I'll just have to say the one that I play the most, that being Mario 64, but Mario Odyssey is up there as well. But Mario Odyssey, I haven't played that one as much. I played it twice, but I don't replay that one as often just because it's one of those games where it's not necessarily, I don't know how to put it. It's not that it's less replayable. It's just that I've been playing Mario 64 for so long where that's a comfort game for me. You know what I mean? There's a nostalgia side to it just because I've been playing it ever since I was young on the N64. And then I got it immediately when it was remade for the DS. Then there's a bunch of other kind of Mario games, but I'll just leave it there. For the 2D Mario game, I'd probably say New Super Mario Bros. DS. And then when it comes to the 3D Mario, I'd say Super Mario 64. But again, those two aren't necessarily my favorite. They're just the ones that I've played the most because I love them all like they're my children. through. Next he asks, what is your favorite Zelda game? Oh gosh, yeah, I can't answer this one. There's so many different kinds of Zelda games. Trying to pinpoint a favorite Zelda game is honestly like counterintuitive. Once again, I'm just gonna have to pick the one that I played the most. Even then, man. Well, like which one do I pick? I played them all so much. I'm Wind Waker. There we go. Have I played that one the most though? I don't know. I played a lot of A Link to the Past. Really, any Zelda game could go here. I mean, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker. I mean, there's just I don't know. This is a cop-out answer, but I love them all. I can't. They're all my favorite. How many times have you beaten Resident Evil 2? Are we talking about the OG or the remake? Because I've beaten both of those an unhealthy amount of times. Like you literally can't even count it on all hands, toes, even two pairs of those. Like I've beaten that game so many times, both versions of it. So the next question is, what's your favorite Slipknot song? I'm sorry to give you so many cop-out answers, but I can't answer that one, dude. Slipknot is literally my favorite band. I can't just pinpoint one song. There's so many different flavors of Slipknot song. You got your sad, depressing acoustic ones. You got your outrageously heavy ones. Here's the next question. What's the last Souls game you played besides Dark Souls 1? Honestly, I can't even tell you. I haven't played a Souls game in a while. Obviously, like, we played Dark Souls 1 for the channel, but, like, before that, maybe Demon Souls? How many hours do you have on Tears of the Kingdom? Easily 100. Probably more. Probably 200. This next question coming from Lilithix, I think is how you're supposed to pronounce it, asks, do you have a game you hated your first playthrough but now enjoy playing it? Ooh, oh gosh, oh wow. That's actually a really good, that's a really good question. Dark Souls 2. I absolutely hated that game on my first playthrough, and now I actually enjoy playing it, but it's only because I know how to overcome and how to counter all the BS in the game. If it wasn't for that, I would still hate it. This next question coming from, what videos do you enjoy editing the most for your channel, any particular series / game? No, there's not really any particular one that I enjoy editing the most. Because when it comes to like my editing process for most games, it's relatively similar. For the Dark Souls or like any series type of video, like I leave it a bit more raw, I guess, sort of. But no, I don't really have a particular one because my strategy for editing them is relatively the same. I would say that editing the Call of Duty videos are always fun just because there's like that hidden nostalgia there, just because, you know, I've always loved that series and I've been following it for like, you know, 15 plus years at this point. I would say that my favorite types of videos, just for like the entire process of like recording and editing, I mean, again, you know, I just love creating content in general, but if I had to pinpoint one that like, yeah, you know, really gets me in my feels, that always just fills me with them good vibes, is like the real nostalgic ones, like the one I made like months ago, maybe almost a year ago at this point, where I was like revisiting old Minecraft worlds, and then just like any of the times that I'm like revisiting older Souls games or like older Call of Duty games, stuff like that. The next question coming from the YouTube comment section, this one coming from Jay Gaming, who asks, do you think pineapple belongs on pizza? Oh man, I'm about to split my whole subscriber. Like half of my subscribers are gonna leave and that's gonna be it. This is such a 50-50 question. No matter how you answer it, you're gonna piss somebody off. Here we go. Yes. Pineapple belongs on pizza. Pineapple pizza is absolutely delicious, especially if you get Hawaiian pizza with like ham and pineapple. Oh my god, it is so good. And finally, the last question coming from Emerald Lips over in the YouTube comment section, who asks, have you ever been burnt out in general or on video games, and what did you have to do to recover? So, have I ever been burnt out in general? Yes, when I was working at Subway. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna go too far into it or say anything that'll like get this video blacklisted in the algorithm, but I was like, that was the most burnt out, dark period of my life, and like I'm not trying to be dramatic, but like that was also when I was having a lot of health issues. So like okay, to put it simply, I was dying physically. Okay, I had a lot of health problems, and yeah, between that and getting overworked, and it was also in the middle of the pandemic. It was a really bad spot. That was also the time where I had to take some time off to recover. So, to be honest with you, how I recovered from that was simply just, you know, taking off work. And then, you know, obviously the place got bought out and then it got shut down. So it was one of those things where fate just kind of aligned to allow me to get out of that situation. So honestly, I don't really have anything that I can say that helped me necessarily recover from that other than the place getting shut down. And then for the second part of it, no, I've never been burnt out on video games. I don't believe it's possible to be burnt out on video games. There are so many different kinds of video games that if anybody gets burnt out on video games, they are simply lying to themselves and they haven't actually tried to look for enough games. Because, you know, some people would say, oh, I'm burnt out on gaming or this, that, and the other. No, you're burnt out on playing the exact same FPS game that you've been playing for the last 20 years, my guy. Try switching it up and playing something different, you know what I mean? I don't know if this is necessarily pertaining to you, like if you're asking this for like your own game, whatever, or if you're just asking out of your own curiosity. But if you're asking this out of like, asking for tips on how to recover from being burnt out, simply play other games. Like if all you do is like play Call of Duty or all you play is Halo, no wonder you're feeling burnt out. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to switch it up. It's time to try something different. I personally, I've never experienced burnout when it comes to video games. The only time I've ever been burnt out on a game was Elden Ring, and I was not even burnt out on the game itself. I was burnt out on the absolutely toxic community that I was dealing with in my comment section the whole time that I was making videos on that game. So it wasn't even pertaining to the game itself. I was just burnt out on the community that's tied to the game. But otherwise, yeah, if you're like feeling burnt out on games or anything, man, just like, I don't know, try switching it up. Again, if you only play like FPS games, try a strategy game. Try like, I don't know, like a chill game like Bug Snacks or Stardew Valley or, like Animal Crossing or something. Or like, if you only play racing games, I don't know, try switching it up. Go play like an Ubisoft game. I know some people are, they might diss Ubisoft games, but there's some actually really good Ubisoft games, especially if you dive into like their earlier catalog, like Assassin's Creed 2, or even some of the newer ones are actually a lot of fun, like Far Cry 6. I don't know what the general opinion is on that one, but if you just stick to like the main quest in that game, it's actually like really good. Yeah, there's so many different kinds of games out there, man. Like if you're ever feeling burnt out, or if anybody out there watching this ever feels burnt out, I'm just gonna say this much. You're simply lying to yourself and you're not actually burnt out. You might be burnt out on one game or one particular kind of game, and at that point, it's simply your fault. You just gotta experiment. You gotta try different things, man. Innovation and like new things and different flavors. It's the spice of life. And then the last question for today, coming also from Emerald Lip, saying, also, what's your favorite type of music? Ooh, this is one that's really hard for me to answer because I listen to so many different types of music, like dubstep and, I don't listen to country a lot, but I do like some of the sadder country songs. I don't know why. They sound really nice, you know what I mean, between their voices and the chord progressions of the guitars. It's just, it's real smooth. But, I'm also like a metalhead. I'm sure you guys have seen it before when the camera's pointed the other way. I got like, like Slipknot posters and flags and Nirvana stuff all over the wall. But I also like rap. Not the new rap. The new rap sucks. It's absolutely terrible. But like old school rap, like Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Tupac, Biggie, Dre, NWA, D12. The list goes on and on. I even got an ear for some pop music, from like the early 2010s, man. Man, turn on some like Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus, man, I'll start jamming to it. Basically, if it doesn't sound like garbage, I'll listen to it. Anyway, there we go. That is another Q&A down. Again, if you want to, like keep up to date with when these things are happening, just keep an eye either on the community tab of the channel or join the Discord server. I'll let you guys know in both of those places immediately when it's going to be happening. Anyway, as always, master shout out, thank you to all the patrons and channel members. Thank you to all of you in the low baller tier, new bigger shout out, thank you to all of you in the big baller tier, Metal Asking, and Big Daddy Maddie in the biggest shout out, thank you to all of you in the G tier, Rod Adventures and the Cheese Girl. Thank you guys so much. You guys are literal legends. I love you. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.